Dr. Vanita Rattan, and this channel is dedicated to skincare for skin of colour. So I'm a doctor, but I'm also a cosmetic formulator, and so I love to do deep dive investigations into ingredients of our favourite skincare brands and determine whether or not they're good for skin of colour or whether we should avoid them. Now, the thing with skin of colour is our skin burns and hyperpigments very quickly, so we have to be very careful with what we put on our skin. And unfortunately, the majority of what's been made has been designed for Caucasian skin. I do hope that with education and people watching this channel and companies watching this channel, this will change. But right now, we're living in the present moment, and a majority of skincare is for Caucasian skin. So I'm just here really just to navigate for you the things to buy, the things to avoid. And it's important for you to know that I am not sponsored. I will never take sponsorship. I don't even monetize my channel, because this whole channel is really my passion project. It is a place for evidence-based information for skin of colour, where you can come and you just know all the information is good for you. Okay, starting off with Neutrogena. So we're going to be doing a deep dive. Let's get started. So the first product we're going to be talking about is Rapid Wrinkle Repair. It doesn't even come out properly. Okay, sorry about that. Rapid Wrinkle Repair. Okay, so the positives here are glycerin, dimethicone, it's got butylene glycol, it's got isohexadecane, it's got cyclopentasiloxane. So these are basically all emollients and moisturizers. They're all very good for the skin. So humectant will basically be a water magnet and hold water in the top layer of skin, and then the emollient will be on top as an occlusive to almost trap water in the skin. And you want both things to happen really in order to create a healing, hydrating environment for the skin. Often a lot of the skincare issues happen actually because of dehydration of the skin. So the first thing you always do is ensure that your product is hydrating. So I like that about this product. The other positive is that the retinol looks at about 0.5% because it's lower than phenoxyethanol. And don't forget, whenever it says phenoxyethanol on the inky list at the back, that tends to be the 1% mark. Everything lower than that is less than 1%. So I like that, and it's unlikely to burn the skin at this percentage or cause any PIH. So that's the most important thing actually when it comes to skin of colour. So the negatives of this product, unfortunately, they went and added fragrance, which I'm not a fan of. If you've watched enough of my videos, it is a co-sensitizer. You might not have a reaction now. It usually tends to be a delayed reaction after years of using a product with fragrance in it. Fragrance just has no place in our skincare. When I formulate a product, every single ingredient that I choose should be good for the skin. If it's not good for the skin, it shouldn't be in the product. And that's really how I feel about fragrance. So I do feel like we're going down the fragrance-free route, and I think the manufacturers are watching this channel and they are changing and they are creating fragrance-free lines. And I'd always tell you to go and look at their fragrance-free line over the rest of the website. However, in this product, it's got fragrance, so I'm not a fan. And also it's got the antioxidants it's got is BHT and ascorbic acid, but again, they're less than 1%. So again, they're unlikely to be in the therapeutic range. So I feel like that's almost more for marketing rather than any beneficial attributes. So if you're watching Neutrogena, if you decide to make this as a fragrance-free product, I will endorse it. But right now, I think it just needs to be tweaked a little bit. Okay, so the next product we're talking about is Hydroboost Hydrating Serum. Okay, so the positives are it has a ton of moisturizers, which I love. It's got glycerin, butylene glycol, it's got ethyl hexyl glycerin, it's got sodium lactate, it's got sodium hyaluronate, which is the cousin of hyaluronic acid. So moisturizers basically hold water on the top layer of skin. They're humectants. It's also got emollients. So emollients tend to smooth out the skin cells. So here it's got dimethicone. I love those particular ingredients. It's also got a very good anti-inflammatory. It's got bisabolol, which is actually one of my favorite, is one that I actually tend to use a lot in my own products. So I was actually really happy with this formula until this point, and then they went and added fragrance. So Neutrogena, if you just reformulate this product without fragrance. I will do another video for you endorsing this product. And also, if you could please put it in biodegradable packaging as well, our children will be very happy. So if you could do that too, I'd be very grateful. Moving on to the next product, which is Hydroboost Gel Cream. So the positives are it's got dimethicone glycerin, it's got dimethiconol, and it's got isoparaffin, which are all fantastic emollients. It's also got glycerin, which is a great moisturizer. It's got no fragrance. Hey, that's my fragrance-free dance. I have a fragrance-free dance. Oh, so embarrassing. One day my daughter's gonna watch this video and just, oh Lord. Okay, right. Next one is it says non-comedogenic. It's good for acne prone skin. So I will say go buy it. And you know I don't say that lightly. You know my standards are very high for skin of color. I'm very careful with what I tell you to buy, and actually this one is very good for our skin. Okay, so the next product is Hydroboost Water Gel SPF50. Okay, so they made the classic error, and the third ingredient here is denatured alcohol. The reason they're doing it is because it lightens the formula. And so the formula doesn't feel so thick and heavy on the skin, which often sunscreen can feel. The problem is denatured alcohol is definitely not our friend. It basically rips open the top layer of skin. You lose water, so you get increased transepidermal water loss. You have more free radicals. Your skin actually can't recover as it should from environmental stresses. So imagine you're putting an SPF 50 on in order to block UV and protect your skin. Instead, you're creating a free radical party, and they're not good guests. They're very, very bad for our skin. They damage our collagen. They break down the house. They are not good house guests. So we should never be wearing denatured alcohol in our skincare at all. And in fact, I was really shocked. I did a full video on sunscreens for children, and I couldn't believe how much denatured alcohol that there is. I mean, imagine denatured alcohol is UV unstable. Why would you put a UV unstable product on your skin in the sun? No sense. It just makes no sense. So it's got Helioplex in it, which is a broad spectrum formula with avobenzone and oxybenzone. Now, if you've got melasma, I would avoid any chemical sunscreens. Chemical sunscreens, just generally, there's a lot of data coming out that even 7 days of wearing a chemical sunscreen accumulates in your bloodstream. And so I'm just really not a fan of chemical sunscreens at all. I mean, right now I'm wearing a physical sunscreen, you know, and I'm fine. It's okay. I don't think I look that white or grey. So I would urge you to watch my physical sunscreen, my top 3 physical sunscreens, because I just feel like chemical just doesn't cut it for us. We are prone to melasma. So we just shouldn't be putting chemicals on our skin where UV hits, the chemical bond breaks, and thermal energy is now on our skin. On the downsides of this product, it does have fragrance in it. It's also got menthol lactate in it, which is actually an ester of menthol and lactic acid, and this is quite sensitizing to the skin, and this is all happening in UV. Okay, so this is a typical example of marketing not adding up to the inky list. So if you look at the marketing, it's this water splashing everywhere and just so innocent and free, and that's the kind of feel that you get from this marketing. And then you look at the inky list and you think, this doesn't look like water and, you know, innocent. It feels like it's not very good for my skin. And you're only going to know that if you educate yourself and you empower yourself. How else are you going to know? Because all the marketing looks, you know, so glamorous and so good for your skin, and it makes you feel like you're doing healthy things for your skin. And again, that's really what this channel is about. It's about educating you and empowering you so that you never fall for marketing. You can look at the back yourself and you know exactly what's in that product. Okay, so moving on to the next product, which is the oil-free face moisturizer. So I'm assuming this is meant for oily, acne-prone skin because it says fragrance-free and non-comedogenic. So of course, I got excited. I thought finally we're going to have a really great product that I can tell you to go and buy, and here's the deal. The positives are it has a lot of emollients in it and moisturizers. So it's got glycerin, it's got dimethicone, it's got petrolatum, it's got cyclomethicone, it's got soybean sterols. So I'm very happy with all these ingredients. The third ingredient, however, which means it's at a high percentage, is ethyl hexyl palmitate, which is 4 out of 10 on the comedogenic scale. And the eighth ingredient is isopropyl isostearate, which is 5 out of 10 on the comedogenic scale, which means they're actually, I wouldn't call this non-comedogenic. I'd say I'd avoid it if you had acne. It's a shame because it's non-fragrant and there's no need to apply these two ingredients. So I'd probably say I wouldn't actually buy this if I had oily, acne prone skin. Okay, so the next product is the Deep Clean Clay Mask plus salicylic acid. So the positives are 0.5% salicylic acid, which means it's anti-inflammatory at that percentage. This is basically a silicate of aluminium and it has absorbing properties. It's also got glycerin, which is a moisturizer, and it's got panthenol, which is also an anti-inflammatory and a moisturizer. The negative, however, is they have fragrance. So they put fragrance in this, and they've got, again, menthol lactate, which again is a skin sensitizer. It gives I think it's because of this cooling, refreshing feel to the skin, it sells the product. And people don't know actually that this is not good for your skin. It sensitizes the skin. It's also got glycolic acid in it. So now you've sensitized the skin and you've put glycolic acid. So glycolic acid and fragrance. So glycolic acid, if you watch enough of my videos, you will know it is my least favorite AHA because it's a tiny molecule, can fly through the skin and can burn the skin. And so you have to be very careful with lactic acid, with glycolic acid. I prefer lactic acid at about 5%. I love mandelic acid. These are other AHAs. And I love BHA, so salicylic acid. But glycolic acid, I tend to steer clear of for skin of color. Please do download your free guide. The link is down below. It tells you all the ingredients that are great for skin of color and what you should avoid. I'm in the comment section for 1 hour at the release of every single video. So please make sure that you not only subscribe, but hit that notification bell for all my videos. So you know that I'm there live to help you. Any other brands you want me to review, please can you write them down below. Thank you very much for watching.